Hey tribe. So in my previous video, I spoke about the identity death. And towards the end of it, I'm nudging towards the next topic on this process I've mapped out around rebirth. And I'm now realizing how I'm getting excited about it, and I'm realizing that's really where I am. And I'm so grateful that I'm actually making these videos, because it's almost like I'm giving myself some newfound perspective again, and it's really cool just to sometimes connect with your higher self, just to be reminded of where I am and how far I've come. I have said this before and I'll reiterate this, that these videos are not edited. They're not scripted. There's no points anywhere. There's not a sheet, papers, nothing. I use this just as the topic point so that I'm just what I'm in the journey, but it's just coming purely from my heart, as authentic as what I can be in this moment. And I'm suddenly feeling all invigorated and excited again about this concept of rebirth. So we spoke about the identity death and the frameworks and perceptions and personas and all the stuff that has to go. And again, I'm stressing that it's not easy, and it's tough and hard and challenging, because there's deep-rooted belief systems that need to be shaken up and let go. But as you do that, parts of me are coming alive. Parts of me that I didn't know existed. Parts of me that I never connected with. Parts of me that have been hidden, even from myself and from the world. And the more this is happening, I have this deep feeling to cleanse. Like I throw clothes out of my cupboard, and I've got this urge to go through old boxes and stuff. Like there's this feeling of rejuvenation and cleansing and birthing anew and all of that, which is starting to happen. It's also just interesting that in this time frame at the moment, and I don't know, I have mentioned this in a video at some point, I think it's on stage, about your personal year, and there are links on how you could calculate your personal year and the cycle that you are in, the year and the cycle, where you are in your 9-year cycles. And now from my birthday, and they run in birthday to birthday, from my birthday, I'm now in a 9-year cycle. Started now, I'm a month into my 9-year cycle, and it's an ending cycle. So it's also interesting that 9 energy is also about endings. It's about closing and closure and wrapping up and all of that as well. And then you get into your next 9-year cycle. And if I go from a 9 to a 1, but there's not always, there could be a master number in between. But a 1 is about new beginnings. So I am not just on my cycle of my 9 years going into endings and rebirthing and shifts, but also in my life, my persona, my being. I'm going through my process and my journey of rebirthing. And what's really exciting about that is that I'm starting to really ask myself, what are the things that I like? And what are the things that I don't like? I am finding that old habits and old behaviors still pop up, and I'm realizing that I'm still caught up in many of them. I'm realizing that I still have a very unhealthy relationship with food. I'm realizing that I have a very unhealthy relationship with my physical body at the moment. And that's sad, because, and again, I'm not speaking out loud, and I'm having my own epiphanies and my own channelings as I'm speaking right now. But part of me is still attached to an old version of myself and a younger version of myself. When I was training 8 times a week, I was super fit. I was big and bulky, and I had a 6-pack and big muscles and great skin. And in my 30s, I've just realized now it's also something that I need to let go. And I need to make peace with the fact that who I am now is who I am now. And it doesn't mean that that person is going to be the same person I am tomorrow. And that I can make decisions right now to change that if I so choose. And that I can be the best version of myself at any time in the future if I so choose. And that choice ultimately lies with me. And that I can make a difference in the way that I do things, the way that I feel about things, the way that I approach things, the way that I react to things are all within my control. Sure. Okay, bit of a mind blow there, because I've just had some major realizations of what I've been going through recently. And it's just so incredible how the universe plays everything out into a moment in time, like right now. It's a Saturday afternoon, and I chose to make these videos right now. I've been procrastinating for weeks, and here I am sitting right now, and in this moment, everything just makes sense. You have to allow the universe to play itself out. There's this, and I have said this probably before as well, there's this beautiful Buddhist philosophy that says, everything is, in the moment, exactly the way it should be. And in this moment, I had to make this video and chat to you so that I could have this realization about where I am. And it's a hard pill to swallow, because I'm realizing that half the shit I'm going through is self-inflicted. Which means I'm doing that to myself. And that's a little sad, because in essence, I know better. Okay, point taken. Thank you. And then the concept of rebirth allows me now to go and apply this newfound knowledge and perspective into creating a better version of me, a more authentic version of me, a more realistic version of me that is no longer caught up in what I thought or believe I need to be, or what I thought and believe the world wants or needs me to be. It allows me to step into my truth, to step into my power, my personal magnificence, and to really start owning who I am. And realizing that I have the power to change anything and everything about myself and my life. It's actually freaking amazing to know that and realize that. And it's super exciting. The reality is that, it's about follow through. And when I wake up tomorrow morning, am I still going to have the same found energy and excitement to do that that I have now? But in reality, there's a couple of dimensions and dynamics that needs to be worked on. And in this rebirth, I am realizing that it's one thing to have the mental and the cognitive ability to process and understand all of this. Is a second part to this dynamic when you really have to ultimately feel it and allow it to integrate into my being, into my spirit, into my soul, and integrate there and start becoming of the way that I do things. But then also to realize that there's certain things that I will have to change to bring that effect and change into my body, into my vessel. And earlier today, I had a really special conversation with a friend of mine. And it was about the fact that many of us don't take care of this vessel. I, in essence, haven't. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't drink alcohol. I don't take drugs. But in reality, I don't eat very healthy. I don't train at all. I'm not active at all. And that's not good for my body. And I've just realized now, I can see how my throat is affecting now, because now I'm verbalizing something that I'm feeling uncomfortable about. It's a reality that I'm realizing that if I want a change, I need to make that change. And I need to be aware of what I'm doing to myself. And it's not just the basic stuff like, eating healthy and training and exercising, but it's also the kind of thoughts that I think of, that I have. What am I thinking about? How am I talking to myself? How do I feel about myself in general? What is the information and the stimuli that I'm exposing myself to? In terms of people, in terms of energy, in terms of situations, in terms of topics, in terms of social media, in terms of news, in terms of content, Netflix. What is all of those things that I'm ultimately feeding myself with? And I've just realized that although I'm like a fairly super positive, kind of like outgoing person, like I realize that some of these have not necessarily been positive influences or positive messages. So food for thought, pun intended, is that I really need to give some thought to what I'm doing and not doing. But in addition to that, and let me not digress too much now, it is also that the rebirth process is also really a very exciting one. It's a beautiful, beautiful, awesome process of discovery and allowance of you, and really connecting with parts of myself, finding the fun in the smaller things, being grateful for everything, even me as I am right now, with my flaws and my challenges and my whatever limitations to a point, and really just allowing that all to integrate and connect, and birthing this newer version of me with more inner standing and wisdom and perspective and light and magic and power and creation and enthusiasm. And enjoy that process, because that really is and should be a very cool, not challenging, but like exciting process. But keep in mind though, is that as parts of this is rebirthing, there are parts of you that need to die. So it is a kind of yo-yo. It is this kind of mesh up and down of integration and learning and growing and rebirthing and dying and stuff all of the time. So it is quite a moment. But embrace it and understand what is in a stand, what is happening, and what is coming from this. It's just this really amazing, more authentic version of you, closer to that light version of you, So tell me if any of you have experienced it and is going through something similar at the moment. I'd be really, really, really keen to hear. Again, as always, I'm sending you all so much love and light, and looking forward to connecting with you all soon.